Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Collective Clicks podcast. This is your host, Brandon Bateman, and today I'm joined by Carly Stagge. We talk all about transactional funding, how it could make a difference to start double closing on your wholesale transactions instead of directly wholesaling them. I'll see you there. Carly, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. For everybody who doesn't know you, could you share a little bit about your background and what you're doing these days?
Yeah, of course. So I've been in the wholesale space for around 6 years now. Started off more in corporate finance, switched over, did a lot of production at first, the sales and acquisition side. Fell in love with it. Had a blast with it. I'm in the Colorado market, so did most of my business in Denver. Switched over, partnered up with some business partners, and help run now a real estate investment firm called Vertigo Real Estate Ventures in Colorado, San Diego, Raleigh, North Carolina, and West Palm, like South Florida area. And that side has been really fun. I'm one of the directors and just kind of help out with a lot of different things within the company and a lot of the production and growth of the company as well. So when we opened up our California office, we kind of saw a need for transactional funding, what I'm kind of dive into today. So background on me, when I was doing a lot of my production before, I always did double closes and was very familiar with that. Switched over with Vertigo, and we were honestly doing a lot of assignments at the time. But once we opened up California, we saw the need for the double closing just because of having more control in that market. Bigger spreads on the deals, all of that. There's a multitude of reasons. And we launched our own fund within Vertigo for that. Then we saw a need for it with other wholesalers, especially with certain markets, assignments kind of going away, or pass-throughs getting harder to do, or just people wanting more control of their transaction and just scaling their business quicker. I mean, we saw it in our business scale tremendously, and just other people kind of seeing that benefit too. We just kind of wanted to help them out with their business. So we launched FlipFund Capital, which is our transactional funding arm now. And that's what I'm kind of been running at the moment and just really focused on that. So that's what I'm kind of here today just to talk about a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, so let's talk about it. There's a million different ways we could take this, but help me understand if we were to, let's just focus on each benefit of double closing, because let's just say I'm a wholesaler. It's really easy for me to say, well, if I double close, it's going to cost me more money than if I just don't double close, right?
Yeah.
As with everything in business, there has to be some type of return on investment with that thing. If I'm going to spend this more money,
exactly.
How exactly does the return on investment hit the business? And what did you guys see? When you went from just wholesaling to double closing, which particular metrics in the business moved?
Yeah, honestly, I like to just share our own personal case study. It's a real life example of what happened with us. So, I'll tell you these numbers and I'll tell you why behind it. But I went through with Mike, who were actually talking about hundreds and hundreds of deals that we've done in the past when we are signing. Okay, this is excluding California. So this is our three out of our three other markets. I did an average of those deals. I excluded California just because the average fee is actually even higher, and I just didn't want to skew the numbers. But they went from $17,500 when we were signing, okay, our assignment fee. And when we started double closing, they jumped to $25,500 pretty much overnight. Okay, that was literally the next month when we started double closing. And a lot of people are like, how does that happen? Why? There has to be other factors. I don't really understand. We didn't change anything else in our model at all besides we started double closing at this time. And the reason with this and why I'm so passionate about it is because I see the value of it is because of the control of the transaction. Okay, so before, if you're just assigning a deal, okay, and you go and you assign your rights, okay, sign your contract off to the buyer. If you have to go in for a retrade because let's say the buyer had to come up or whatever it may be, you legally can't do that with an assignment. Once you assign your rights to the contract, even if you have it written in there, it doesn't matter. You could have something crazy written in there that I'm going to go do. Doesn't mean I'm legally allowed to go do it just because it's written in a contract, right? So even if it's written in there, you can't technically go retrade with the seller, okay? If you're double closing, you have control of that transaction, you can go do whatever you want. You can change the prices whenever you need to on both sides, okay? So that's a big one right there. I think also the value of, having big fees. I mean, especially in markets where it's like, okay, I could go have a $100,000 fee because that's where, the numbers make sense. But because of XYZ, I'm only just going to do a $50,000 fee because I'm assigning this, whatever. And you're like, well, that's still a good enough fee. Well, now you just lost $50,000 on the table, right? But if you were double closing that and everything was done that way, you could still have that $100,000 fee, okay? So that's another reason too. But I think the more point with it too, it's not as much about the fees. It's more about the control of that transaction on all ends. And then the confidence too of like, I am the one purchasing this, I have control over this, and being confident in that versus being like, oh, I'm assigning, I don't know what I'm doing with it. And like, just kind of sounding a little bit as not as confident with what you're doing with it. Versus if you're double closing on it, when you come in as the buyer, you are the buyer and you're gonna be a lot more confident and convicted in what you're doing in that situation because you know what you're doing with it. You're double closing on it and then you're gonna go resell it, okay? So that's another part of it too. And then the third part that I think a lot of people don't realize, which honestly is a massive, massive part of it, and this doesn't directly affect the spread of the deal, but it affects the amount of deals coming in. So when your name is attached to the deal, that's the other part where that doesn't happen in an assignment or a pass-through. You don't see Carly Stagge attached to it. When you're double closing, you're going to see Carly Stagge attached to it, right? So one, you get free marketing leads just sent into you all the time. If you spend, let's say, $20,000 a year on transactional funding, I guarantee you're going to get that money back on at least someone sending you 1 to 2 deals at least that year. I mean, I get at least 1 to 2 a month just from people seeing my name attached to deals. Okay, so that part is big, and then the other part with that too is your reputation too, and your credibility more. So like, let's say I'm offering on a deal with an agent, and they're like, oh, like how many deals have you done the past month? And I say, hey, I did 10 last month, but I assigned all of them. How can I prove that? You can't. Like I had a guy come to me the other week and bring this up to me, and he's like, can you tell this agent that I did 15 deals last month? And I'm like, I can't prove that. You can't, like, I'm not going to go lie to this agent about this, or bring something up that like I don't have proof of, but when you're doing it, you can literally, I used to like send, when I was in production, like send a screenshot of all of the deals I did that past month with my name attached to it, send to them and say, hey, here are the deals that I closed on last month. Here are the 10 deals. Here are the 5 deals, whatever it may be. And you just become more credible right there from that. Actually like proving your work and proving your value right there. That's another big aspect of it. So it's the control is the big piece. And then the other piece too is that marketing aspect piece and that credibility piece as well.
Understood. Okay, so you talked about a bunch of metrics there, which is interesting to me. I'm also curious, Did you see anything move in contract fallout rate?
I don't have that tracked. I would love to track that because I think that is another big thing too. I mean, I think that is pretty hard to track because a lot of times, sellers or agents don't want to tell you that the reason they're not going with you is because it's assignable or you're not actually the end buyer, whatever it may be. But I mean, I'm confident that is 100% went up from that too. I mean, like that happens all the time, whether agents want to admit it or not. They see the word assignability or, they feel you not being confident in being the buyer, whatever it may be, and they don't want to go with you because of that, right? It happens all the time. I mean, it's kind of hard to track that based off of, just from conversations, but yeah, I mean, I'd love to try to figure out a way to track that honestly, because I mean, I know just from personal experience that has affected deals 100% with it being assignable. I was dealing with one yesterday with that, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it matters on some level. So I'm curious for you guys. I can tell you one thing that I've heard a lot of people do is they'll double close if it's a really big assignment.
Yeah.
And then if it's a smaller assignment, they choose not to double close because double closing, you got to get the money from somewhere. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost money somehow, somewhere, right? Your money, someone else's money, something like that. What do you think of that strategy, where it's just like protect the big deals that way, versus the strategy of just doing it for every single deal? And I'm curious what you guys do if you have like a threshold in your business where if it's more than this, then we do it.
Honestly, we used to do that. Because we were just trying to protect the fees, and then we saw the benefit of it in every single deal. I mean, we double close on $5,000 fees, Like we double close on every single one of our deals now, just because we see the benefit of it and we know that it's going to eventually come back around and we're going to get the return on it. Even maybe on that deal, yeah, we spent $1,000 on transactional funding. It was only $5,000 fee, but okay, but then that $100,000 one, you know, we're going to make it back, and it still builds up our reputation and our credibility throughout it. And that's more what we're worried about. Like I think if you're doing it just on those big fees, honestly, I think that's very short-minded. And I think you're almost like slapping a Band-Aid on the problem, you know what I mean? Versus actually like fixing something more like long-term, you know? And I just believe that to like actually scale your business long-term, like you look at every large wholesale firm, they're double closing. They're double closing for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. They are. And that's just kind of the truth of it and the reality of it. It's like, you know, you might be like, why are these big firms doing that? Whatever. I mean, this is why, and they have their reasons. You know, they figured that out. They've clearly scaled their business big enough to be able to do that. So, yeah, I mean, I get that. It is harder when you're having these conversations with, you know, some of the guys doing, I'd say only like 3 deals a month. They're like, why would I be doing that? You know? And it's like, okay, well, maybe try one with us a month and just see if you end up getting a return on it. See if, one, your fees get bigger, and two, see if, okay, you're getting calls coming in now because your name's now attached to at least 1 deal a month, you know, and see what kind of happens from that. I think that's kind of what I challenge some people to do, is more just like try it and try to see the value of it, because it is hard, I think, to understand and grasp when assignments and pass-throughs are so easy and you've been doing it for, let's say, 5 years, you know? Like, it is hard to like make that switch over, but like I've seen it happen, obviously, and like I've seen how it can scale your business.
Yeah. So let's talk about the reason a lot of people don't double close, which is, you know, it costs money. I'm sure if everybody had, you know, what it takes to double close just sitting in their bank account when they close a deal, they would probably consider it a little bit more. But there's somewhat limited options. I'm curious if you can, and obviously what this extension of your business that you've created that does transactional funding obviously is one solution to this problem. I'm curious if you could just zoom out for a little bit and just help me understand. Let's just say I'm doing 10 deals a month right now and I'm wholesaling them and I'm not double closing. My options, if I do believe that double closing is the right thing to do, my options moving forward are what exactly?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is a thing for people. I think, first of all, kind of to touch on that, it's a lot of people don't know even about transactional funding, right? It's like you're taught when you start out in wholesaling, if you're watching videos or listening to gurus or going to masterminds, whatever, a lot of it is like, oh, you don't need money to do it. You can just assign, right? And that's kind of like the base of wholesaling. It's like, you don't need this capital behind you, okay? And that's kind of how it originated. Like, I understand that part of it, you know, but it's just kind of like a mindset, like, switch with it. But yeah, I mean, if you do want to do it, honestly, like a lot of these companies, you know, they charge 2%. I met this guy the other week. He charges 4% and $4,000 per deal. I was like, that is insane. That is so pricey. You know, we're charging around 75 basis points to a point, depending the deal. And, you know, we make it really easy for you because we know and we understand, like this is built out of necessity from us. And like, we understand it as wholesalers. It's not just like, oh, we're this transactional funding company that we just think people need it, but we don't really understand why people need it, how it works, and what these wholesalers actually need. It's like, no, we've been there, and we are those people too. And we know that assignments and pass-throughs are really, really, really easy, right? And like adding another step, no one ever wants to add another step in their process. So our goal has to make it as streamlined and as easy as possible. We have like a TC that's dealing with all of like the title work. We actually created this like AI bot that's automatically like generating a lot of like our documents and stuff and making it really streamlined for all of our wholesalers when they are using our product. I think that's the main thing. And then also our rate. It's like, we'll undercut people, you know, and if you come to us too and you're like, hey, I'm doing 50 deals a month, it's like, yeah, well, let's come up with a better rate for you. You know, we can make this work. And we can be flexible with that. I mean, I think that's our main thing. It's like, we want to make it affordable and we want to make it really, really easy and smooth for you, because we do not want it to be an extra step. Because we've been there and we get that, and no one wants an extra step in their process, right? So that's kind of the main thing with it. Okay,
so you would say, and as far as total options for this, I mean, it's transactional funding and that's it, right? Like, there's not. I mean, either like you have the cash or transactional funding. I mean, hard money lenders don't really do this thing, I'm assuming.
No, there's some that do it. Honestly, most that I've talked to, they're like, we'll just do it kind of one off for just some people that we're really close with. But honestly, we don't really prefer to do it because it's not our specialty, and they charge a lot more because it isn't their specialty. So it's like, oh, we're just kind of more doing it to help someone out. So I've actually talked with a lot of hard money lenders about it, who, we're looking to more like partner with them on it because we just do transactional funding. This is our specialty, and I like that it's our specialty because that's all we do and that's all we're focused on for that client, right? And if they want hard money lenders, a hard money lender, and they call us about that, we get calls about that all the time, right? And we just tell them like, hey, you can still go use a hard money lender in the back end, and we have all these relationships with a lot of really good hard money lenders. Where are you located? What rate are you looking to get? What's your price point? Whatever, and then we'll set them up with a hard money lender that we think would be a good fit for them. As well. And then same with hard money lenders. I mean, the hard money lenders have been sending us people a lot right now too, because they get calls all the time like, do you do transactional funding? And they're like, honestly, no, this isn't our specialty. We don't do that, but here's Carly, with FlipFund Capital, and she'll be able to help you out, So we've been working kind of more hand in hand with these lenders with it, which has been really cool partnership that we've been able to do.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, Carly. So let's just say somebody's listening, they're interested, they think it could make a difference to start double closing the wholesaling business. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so, you can go on our website, flipfundcapital.com. You can fill out either a pre-approval form. We do offer also free pre-approval forms if you need them more specific to your business or anything like that. You can reach out to us too through the website on that. You also can do the Get Funding Now page on our website as well, just to kind of start your process, and you'll be synced up with one of my sales agents under me. But honestly, if you need to get a hold of me, you can. We'll have Brandon drop my contact information with this podcast too. You can just give me a call to my direct phone number, text me, email me at carly@flipfundcapital.com. You can also find us on Instagram. It's flipfund_capital, or Facebook, all of that as well. LinkedIn, honestly, any way you would like, but obviously direct phone call or text is probably easiest and best.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you, Carly, for taking the time to share this with us today. And for everybody else listening, I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you for listening to the Collective Clicks podcast. If what you heard in today's episode got you thinking about where your current marketing strategy might be falling short, this offer is for you. Exclusive to podcast listeners, by clicking the link in the description, we will work to develop your personalized marketing strategy, which is a process that we've only previously done for new clients, and we charge $2,000 to develop. Click the link in the description to find out where your current marketing strategy is lacking.